are you still optimistic about the season, even with some bad news?
Of course, yeah, yeah, of course. Nothing. None of the bad news has affected my outlook for the season at all. I'm confident. I'm very confident and very optimistic with the changes that have been made and a lot of the new faces that are around. That I think they're moving in the right direction. Definitely.
It's going to be a fascinating season. I'll say that
Yep.
because it's almost logistically, mathematically impossible to play at the level that they played last year and lose every game by one score. And lose by one score to some kind of marginal teams, but then lose by one score to some of the best teams in the country. and just so I'm going to call it for what it is. I'm not going to say this team's going to win a Big Ten championship or anything like that, but I think they can contend for the West. I think it's possible. I don't think they're near the top of the list out of the gate, but there's nobody on the Western Division side that should blow everybody else away. I think it's a fascinating division. I think it's balanced. I think it's basically, aside from Illinois and Northwestern, and they can on occasion play with anyone. Illinois beat Nebraska and Minnesota this year, and we know that Northwestern's been good in the past, very recently. But the other five teams are really good. They're not great, but they're really good, and they have talent. And I got to think that this is about a 7-5 football team right now.
Yeah, we're gonna find out, and I think
Yeah.
the key is to start the season off right. Come out of the gate and win those games and have positive momentum. Going into say week 4. So you're not behind the 8 ball already, like what has happened here. It seems like every year lately. So yeah, I think if they get off to a good start, then who knows? Who knows what the ceiling is that after that? Because you get Oklahoma here at home, and if you can be 4-0, who knows what's going to happen? So that's my big key is that start, and to get one of those signature wins as well. I mean, to get a win against a program like Oklahoma would I think do tons for their momentum and their state of mind, and maybe you see them win those one-score games instead of losing them all.
Yeah, I would in no way. They just played too well against too good a teams for me to question their determination, their attitude, their effort level, both on the field on game day, but also in preparation. They just played too well and hung with those teams. But the difference in your mindset and confidence level when, let's say, you're 5-1 instead of 1-5, even if you're the same team and you performed roughly the same, once you start to turn the trick in the last few minutes of a game to pull out some of those games, and you have the experience and the confidence of knowing that you can do it, and things have turned your way, and you're just not continually, we just lost by 3, we lost by 4, what's going to happen this time? And that's only human nature, that doubt comes into your mind when you've seen it happen over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think diehard Nebraska fans understand that, and they feel that same frustration of watching their team have to go through that week in and week out. And it almost seems like, I don't know, God's against Nebraska for some reason, that, all these weird scenarios always seem to pop up and and snatch victory away from a team that desperately needs a victory. So, yeah, it just takes a little bit of karma and changes things around. We'll see. But you're obviously right. There's no questioning, um, you know, their passion and their want to win. I mean, the effort obviously is above and beyond the effort I see those guys put in, which wasn't always like that in previous years. So, like I said, and then the guy, and then some of these the coaches that they added that I'm hearing up and down the board about just the attitude that go on, with all these new coaches on the offensive side of the ball. So, and when you got coaches that are passionate, it rubs off on the players, and you can't help to take on that that attitude that your coach has, and I like I said, I really like what I'm seeing right now, and um, I brought up Bill Bush earlier, and Mickey Joseph earlier, but Brian Applewhite as well has a lot of praise going his way too about how tough nose of a coach he is and demanding. Um, you know, that's the one thing that I'm hearing most is about these guys are very demanding, and it's bringing the best out of the players. And a lot of them across the board are saying they need a guy like that to kind of light that fire under you. I mean, under Coach Frost's coaching staff since he's been here, the wide receiver group has not actually had a wide receiver coach per se. It's always been the offensive coordinator. Now they have an actual wide receiver coach that gets it, and to a T. I mean, everybody that talks about Mickey, or I mean, obviously I've talked to him in person, and the guy is such an impressive guy, and that's why guys are very successful under him. He doesn't recruit and then develop guys, turn them into first round draft picks in the NFL for no reason. He's pretty good at what he does. So yeah, I overall just love the attitude, that the big change in the attitude, and heck, you got to start somewhere, and I think they've started in the right spot.
So not to belabor a point, but I'm going to just state it this way, because I do think I despite the 3-9, I give these guys a ton of credit, because if you look at Ohio State, Oklahoma, Michigan State, especially Ohio State, they're beating 2/3 of the Big Ten by 30 or 40 points. They're beating teams that had much better records than Nebraska. Maryland, they beat them by 50 points. They beat Indiana by 50 points. So if you don't have the buy-in and the effort and the determination and the preparation and all that, and you're Nebraska and you're going up against, especially Ohio State, but against all those teams, you're going to lose by 30 or 40 points. So they obviously never gave up.
Yeah, I never saw any give up in that team last year at all, and that's something to hang your hat on. It's what you want to see, and good things happen if you keep playing that way. So, and you know what, that experience that they gained being able to play top teams like that, nose to nose, that's going to rub off for next year, obviously, for the returning players. So, and now you kind of have to reload your leadership and put your trust in some new guys. But like I've said, I like a lot of these new pieces that they've added, and it will be interesting to see how it all fits together here. When obviously when they go out there for their glorified practice there, 1st of April, with their glorified scrimmage.